I got me a man, a good man, Savannah. So not too much before you say I'm bitter. Just know I've been picked. Thank you. Because I was freshly 18 in Europe. I could have been at the pub. I could have been boogieing. I could have been on that Don Julio, acting a real foolio. But guess where I was? In the middle of London, crying over a man with no job. Title aside, I hate to say that anything is a waste because God has a way of putting you in uncomfortable and hard positions sometimes so that you can learn, you can grow, you can uncover a deeper truth about yourself. And if you don't learn your lesson the first time, sometimes you get bonked over the head with that same lesson in a little bit different packaging until something finally clicks, okay? And this lesson is one that I have learned all too well. I was in college. I should have been focusing on that degree. I could have been studying at the library with my girlies. Where was I? In a sorority house, crying over a man with no job. God help me, Lord. Oh, fix it, Jesus. And my sisters in Christ, do not let it be you. Like I said, no shade, no tea to these men. May they rest in peace. No shade, no tea to these men. I was not an angel, okay? I was also young and stupid. I might still be, who knows? We'll find out in another 10 years. And I think that I went through what I did, the way I did, when I did it, to be the person sitting here as I am today, a woman that I love, that I'm excited to wake up as every morning, that I'm excited about her life to come. But looking back, you know, I could have skipped that. So I'm giving you this opportunity. Please learn from what I went through so that you can learn the lesson on YouTube, comfortable, in your bed, taking a walk, and not going through the trenches like I did. Please. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Imani, and on this channel we talk about mind, body, spirit wellness, personal development, and everything that comes with it, like relationships and so much more. Now, as I sit here now, I'm 26 years old. I am in a long-term relationship of 5 years with a man that I love with all of my heart. My man. Anyway, as I sit now is very different than where I sat in my early 20s. In my early 20s, I was in some very draining relationships that ultimately had me missing out on opportunities that I should have been taking advantage of. And that's no one's fault but my own. I saw all the signs, but I did not read them. So that's what I'm gonna blow up for you today. If this sign can't stop you because you can't read, sister, here's an audiobook. Let's get into it. The first sign is the most obvious, but simultaneously the most hard to catch. You will know that you're in an unproductive relationship if he doesn't even like you. And of course, the immediate reaction to this is, he's with me, of course he likes me, but you have to read between the lines. Especially in our culture today, there's that whole like sitcom idea of I hate my wife, LOL. Guys like joking online of I looked over at my girl inside. So many times these like little mini slights can feel so normal because it's what's regarded as comedy or, you know, common things for society, but that is not normal whatsoever. I'll reference my parents who have been married for almost 30 years at this point. I have never heard them call each other anything but babe or honey, and I know that's little and that could just be words, but it really made an impact for me as a kid. Just hearing them refer to each other with words of affirmation every time. When my mom got angry, she would give us the full name treatment, but never with my dad. Even if she was upset, it was always a honey. And then maybe she'd say her complaint, but it was always with love. And that's so important. You will know if a man truly likes you by the way that he speaks to you and the way that he treats you. These are the two things. Sometimes they tell you opposite stories, and when in doubt, always look at the way that he treats you. This can be very hard because especially nowadays with texts and all the different ways that you can essentially love bomb someone, it can be very hard to differentiate the words that they use about you and the things that they say to you from how they actually treat you. So for example, if the texts are, I love you, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, you are the sunshine of my world, you are the sun in my sky, you are the water in my ocean, you are just everything, I love you so much. But you can't get a call back. But you can't get a text back. but he won't be seen with you outside in the daytime. These are conflicting messages, and the way that you're being treated says a lot more than the way that you're being spoken to. Now, sometimes the actions might be, not awful enough to raise any alarms. He's saying everything that you want to hear. Here's the easiest way to call BS. A real man is a man with a plan. So everything that he's saying to you, is there a plan for it? Is there an action that's been done? Anything, a baby step, not even a baby step, a crawl perhaps. Has there been anything done to get you guys towards this goal that he's been preaching and prophesying about for you? I had an ex that loved to talk about all the things that he would get for me in the luxury, lavish lifestyle that we would one day live. No 401k in sight. Not even a W-2. Not even a 1099. Just young and stupid, both of us. Both of us. Myself probably more for believing it. And I'm kikiing about it now, but seriously, when someone's telling you about some sort of end state, especially a man, there should always be the question in your mind of, okay, how are we gonna get there? And I love, one thing that I wish I did was ask, how? Because the silence or the floundering of that answer or the nonsense that answer probably would have told me so much. Another big wake-up call would have been if I were to do some math real quick, and not girl math, but if I were to do a little bit of calculating, because another huge red flag to a draining, unproductive relationship is if you spend more time arguing or trying to get back to a better place than you do actually being in a good place. And this sneaks up on you. It'll sneak up on you so quick, because you might have this great honeymoon phase and all of a sudden things turn left, and you'll have maybe a good couple of weeks sprinkled in here or there, but you're still constantly wanting to get back to the way things were. And don't get me wrong, honeymoon phases, new puppy love phases exist in every relationship, even those like my parents where they've been together for 27 years, even mine being in a relationship for 5 years, we did have a honeymoon cupcake phase. But the difference is your cupcake phase in a decent relationship is not 1 month, is not 2 months. That's something that didn't click to me with such little dating experience prior, is that a cupcake phase for a real good relationship that lasts a while, that's a couple years at least. If your cupcake, your honeymoon, your perfect phase is only the first month, the first 2 months of the relationship, then by the time you've reached month 5 or 6, more than half of your relationship has been bad. So the math ain't mathin'. It's just not adding up, And it's so hard to realize when you're actually in the situation, you're wanting so badly to get back to this prior state, you don't realize that was months ago. That was years ago when things were like that. You're probably not getting back to that. And you shouldn't want to anyway, because the goal of a relationship is not to recreate a prior version of yourself, but it's to continually grow and evolve into better and better versions as time goes on. Growth does not look one way for everyone, but it sure as heck does not look like reversion. It does not look like reverting back to the past. That will never be growth. In fact, that is the exact opposite of growth. So if you find yourself constantly yearning for the past, understand that it ain't coming back. It's just not. If you haven't blocked him yet, let me get to this last point. I want you to ask yourself, really ask yourself, can this person accompany you through the journey of life? Where you would like to be in your career, in your personal life, in your hobbies, in your endeavors, 10, 20 years from now? Is this a person who is going to be standing in the room with you when you're buying that Birkin bag, when you are shopping for that new home, when you're creating that new project? Is this the person that you want in your space, cheering you on, accompanying you, helping you through the process? And not the version of them that you think that they can be, but the version of them that they actually are. Is this really that person? And the reason I said really think about it is, of course, the initial answer is probably gonna be, yeah, of course he will. Nah. But you gotta ask yourself, if he continues on this path as is this really my person? I think many people, but especially women, tend to believe that they can change people or they can help them become something. but you cannot change anyone. You can only influence them, you can perhaps inspire them, but even with that, there's only so much inspiration and influencing that one person can do for another. At the end of the day, it's gonna be up to them to make a decision, make a choice, choose where they wanna go. And you need to be careful because so often you can get so caught up in trying to influence their choice that you forfeit choices in your own life and start letting things pass you by and start letting opportunities slip and start letting people fall out of your life. And that is such a tragic thing to let happen, especially in your youth, before you have a real family or a ton of responsibilities, a time in your life where your main focus can and should be you and your own development. Throwing away that time, spending that time on someone else who doesn't even want it is, that's it. That's the down bad. That's the going through it. So if you don't click with anything else in this video, then please at least just ask yourself, where is my energy going when I'm interacting with this person? What does that exchange look like? Am I pouring out more than I'm getting back in? Am I getting back anything at all? And if the answer is no, you're done. Blocked immediately. I'm curious for any of the ladies out there who have been in a similar position. How did you know it was time to go? How did you let go? Please let us know in the comments. This is a little bit new of a content type for me, so please let me know if you enjoyed this as well. I wish you all the best, and until we meet again.